Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. You can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Street and Steel Brighton boots available at RevZilla.com. This is the Street and Steel Brighton, new to RevZilla, been around for a little bit. So we're seeing this boot live within the casual, everyday riding category. Ultimately, it's not going to break the bank, coming in around the $140 mark. It's basically a rock-solid option. It's not going to be CE rated. It doesn't have a ton of beefy protection, but as far as a $140 boot using top-grain leather that's going to break in nicely with that oiled construction, we're fans of it. It looks nice, and it has that wedge sole. I'll tell you, within the same category, there are a few options that kind of play within this mix. You see things like the RevZilla Yukon at $260 that ultimately are CE rated, are more premium. They're going to have that suede option. That's nearly $120 more than this guy. In the same category, look at something like the RevZilla or the Icon Truant. It uses D3O, it's going to have CE rating, but ultimately it's a little busier, where this is going to be a little bit more staid, a little bit more plain. I say that in a good way. It's a classic retro, almost V-twin style and appeal. The other option you'd have right around this price point is something like the Street Ace from TCX. Waterproof, CE rated, but that's really a riding sneaker. So when we play here, 4 out of 10 on the stiff scale, basic functionality. I wish it had some hard parts up here towards the ankle, but what it is a rock solid boot. Now, quick note on fitment, then I'll walk through some of the nuances. Whole sizes only. If you're in between sizes, you can go up. And ultimately, a basic American foot ped. You have this wedge, like I said, comfortable to ride to work, get off, and wear all day with a pair of jeans over it. That is why this has been designed. And ultimately, you're going to see symmetry across both boots. There's no shift patch, so it'll start to break in. It will be very clear that you ride a motorcycle as you start to wear this boot and put more miles on it. Now, diving into some of the nuances. We talked about the wedge sole, basic. It has a lighter weight, reinforcement. Again, easy to walk in. I'm not griping that it's a 4 out of 10 on the stiff scale. It's really, is that the level of comfort that you want? You're trading comfort for durability. Stitching here, pulling things together, it's a mixture of composites as the sole connects to the boot. You do have this asymmetrical stitch line that comes across the front, so it's like a half moto, which is actually really cool. And then these laces, they're rounded, they're not covered. I'm fine with it. This boot is going to be on a more relaxed ride. Most likely the style and the type of bike you'd be using this boot for are going to be fine. No gripes there. Working your way up, you do have some bellows across the back. This is a little bit of temper foam. It's dense. It gives you a little bit of cushioning here. But for my boots, I typically like to see reinforcement at the ankle, at the toe, and at the heel. And that's typically as you beef things up, you start to get closer to that CE rating, which this boot does not carry. Now, moving around to the inside, if I compared it against something like the Icon Truant, it's not gonna be as busy, but the Icon Truant doesn't have the simplicity of a medial side entry and exit, which I really like on this boot. So again, you have your laces, you can kind of set it and forget it. Now I owe Ron Popeil $1. And ultimately, you can get in and out from the inside of this boot. Note, you do have more of a mesh material it's a little bit beefier than just your standard mesh on the inside. That's gonna wick sweat away and help you hopefully stay more comfortable, especially if you're riding in the summer or you have sweatier feet. But it's a no-frills boot. It carries a great oiled coating that will break in. I wish they did a blacked version of it, and it is ultimately not gonna break the bank, coming in around the $140 mark. So the thing I would tell you is do your research, check out the other boots I've mentioned, make sure this is the right one for your riding style and your needs. And the next step in your journey is to click the info button, your desktop, your mobile device. Visit our product detail page at RevZilla.com and be sure you read other rider reviews. You should not just take my word for it. As always, if you wanna talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown on the Street and Steel Brighton boot. I'm Anthony. Subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Stay up to date with our opinion of the latest and greatest in the motorcycle universe. We'll see you next time.